Good morning. Good morning to you, Matthew.
Good morning.
So this is Prep School, Known World United,
Woo!
where Matt and I, and sometimes Beard, and sometimes other assorted guests, we talk about prepping our games, and sometimes I have people on and we talk about their creative process, which I'm hoping to have some more people on. I just have been real lazy about it lately since, I've been doing a lot of preppy stuff. Matt has been awesome enough to be my co-conspirator in prepping for all sorts of weird stuff that I hope to run. Hopefully, at some point, we're going to convince Matthew to prep for GI Joe.
Or run in some things. Yes, it'll happen. It'll happen. I'm very much a I have one big thing on my plate right now, so I have no energy to introduce new things.
Understandable, and we did chit chat about it yesterday on our walk post Yellow Jacket fight, which I found out those are Yellow Jackets. Apparently, it's good to know the exact name of the enemy that continues to stab you with its lower abdomen.
Yellow Jackets, return wall on FX. Hit us up, give us money.
I did. I also ordered some of that food grade. It's like ground up silica.
Oh.
And you lay it down and it basically shreds them apart when they crawl up through it.
Oh.
Should be here today, and I'm going to try to lay some. I don't exactly know where the hole is the problem.
Yeah, that's going to be just kind of throw it in that general direction from as far.
Yeah, I did get 4 pounds of it, so we'll see how far that goes.
Build yourself a freaking, suit,
Yeah, because last time I did not see them, and you're like, oh, and they were just like
they just
coming up to the ground.
Like it came out of nowhere. There was no warning. Yeah, you need one of those grizzly man suits, but the kind that doesn't get you killed.
Shaggy, yes, fire does indeed kill everything. The problem is my wife's got plants back there, and if I do use fire indeed to do that, then she will use fire to kill me, and I can't have that.
I did recommend to him that he find the hole and just pour gas in there.
Yeah.
But I've also seen when people do that, I saw some fail video of a guy who did that. I don't know what he was trying to do, but he lit it and his lawn exploded.
I think it was like a gas line or something.
I think he was trying to get rid of gophers or something, so he just poured gas in the gopher.
I've seen that video. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, video. His whole. I mean, it wasn't like it was. If it was a gas explosion, yeah, I wouldn't be watching that video because I don't go to those kind of sites.
I did see where people were like, hey, you take a wet tarp or even old wet t-shirts, you lay them down, you cut little slits in them, and then you pour dishwater, more soap than water, because they can't fly, then they basically just drown.
They get the soap on their wings and shit.
But then you have to make sure that you tightly cover all of the spots of the wet cloth you lay down.
Which would be tough with that area.
Yeah, because I don't know where the hole is.
Fence they're under the mulch somewhere. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great.
That's why I decided to go with the silica powder, and I got the one that's pet friendly since the dogs always come over.
Well, that's good.
And it's just going to. I might buy another bag just in case. I'm just going to go over there at night, and I'm just going to powder the shit out of that area. And hopefully it murderizes them.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Another reason why I'm not a fan of the Bible, besides it just being a book of mythology and parable, is someone let Yellow Jackets on the fucking ark. Good point, Shaggy. All right, Hellboy. We're still kind of brainstorming. The nice thing is all this brainstorming is we're going to have a lot of stuff we can use over a great deal of time. So I believe we finished last time with Project Raism, which was the psychokinesis.
Yes.
I looked some stuff up on my own and now I'm just dumping Motu dudes over who are literally standing right by my keyboard.
Oh yeah, I'm surrounded by action figures. I got to clean my desk up again, as I do pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I got some new stuff in the mail, and then I still haven't put like Skullman up, and I finished Thor, and I was showing Matt ahead of time. I just finished Sundar, Commander Sundar, and I finally am fully done with my Horde Skeletor, my Horde Knight. Pigman came. I'm still working on a Beastman. 2000X He-Man came. Plus Montana and 2000X Skeletor came. So I got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I got this Transformer yesterday.
Oh, that dude looks cool.
And he turns into a skeletal mastodon. So
what?
He's pretty fucking metal.
What's his name?
Master Dominus.
That is amazing.
Or at least that's what he makes you call him when he's got his I don't know.
Someone's gonna get these tusks unless I hear my name. That's some straight up Kaiju Max shit right there. All right. So I added some things here to our list. I kind of want to hear everyone's thoughts on them, chat, as always. First thing was the 2016 Scary Clown Epidemic. I thought this was kind of something which I was like, oh man, this is really recent, but it was fucked up.
It was fucked up. Part of me likes the idea. Again, clowns can be fucking scary as shit. But there's also a weird, or maybe it's just the YouTube channels and websites that I happen to follow along, but like Christian clowning is like a really weird thing that totally exists. Like, put on clown makeup and go to the old folks home or the hospital and try and convert some people. What if this was that, but not like creepy, but they were actually out there to like stop something, or and everybody assumed that they were bad because clowns are fucking terrifying.
So I had a similar idea, but on the other switch side, what if it was basically a riff on Halloween 3?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works too. I like that.
So they were abducting people, and whenever they painted them with this clown makeup, which was basically like maybe it was the dust off of Stonehenge.
Sure, that sounds appropriately Hellboy.
Yeah, it was like a clown cult.
Yeah. Well, there's so let me find this here. Yes. So, or you could do it as a like.
But what if it was? Let's mix them. What if it was a religious offshoot? What if it was like an Opus Dei?
Yeah, that could work. Are you familiar with the Clown Egg Register?
I am not. This is we're going down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, no,
horrificness there.
All the clowning is real fucking weird. So the Clown Egg Register is a museum, and basically it was like you, as King Ginger the Clown, come up with your own distinctive face makeup, and you don't want anybody else to poach your shit because you're a clown, especially if you're in like a circus or whatever. You're from a distance. Anybody could put on your makeup and do your shit, and they're not going to necessarily know it was you. So the Clown Egg Register is basically like clown copyright office. Like, so they paint your makeup on an egg and put it in this like museum / whatever. So to basically be a log, like, yeah, this is yours. This is your clown makeup. Like, it's tied to you. So maybe they can use those eggs to control the clowns whose makeup they have.
I like this. So it's like secretly being used by a religious
where's it at?
Cult to control
on egg
clowns with their distinct egg.
So let's see. It is based in the UK, the Egg Museum, and yeah, whoever is painting them gets a little oddly realistic at times. I think they hollow the eggs out, Super Spike. Not even a religious cult. It could just be like clown cult or circus cult.
I like the idea of though the religious thing, like the going into nursing homes and the like. I like that's super creepy.
Oh yeah, the religious clowning is just unsettling. It's not good at all. Oh God, what was it? Oh shit. I've got it. I gotta look through my old tweets here because there is one of the religious clowning videos because I was watching VCR Party and they were playing it, and there was basically something about like you know, God has no rules and neither do clowns or something. I gotta find this because
here's my riff on it, and we can make adjustments as we go. So they abduct people, they initiate them into this religious cult with no memory of the encounter, making them distinct clown eggs to be used as control devices. This is so they can operate them like Manchurian Candidate style to expedite the end time. So it also has a little bit of like the Hammer flick. What is that? Dracula 1978 or some shit like that. I can't remember the exact name of that one where the vampires are trying to basically expedite the a nuclear war. It's also got a little bit of Halloween 3. It's got the overt religious portion of it because it could be like the religious portion of it. Is it? Does it really? Hey, Mitch, good to see you.
Hey,
but maybe the religious folks actually think they're doing the right thing, even though they're
usually how it goes.
Yeah, as always, they don't see themselves as the bad guys in this because maybe they're very aware of all the crazy shit that's going on in the world in Hellboy.
The exact quote from the video is God is not rational and neither are clowns. Which is that's a hell of a fucking thing.
I love that. Well, that one's fucking scary when you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if we're talking Old Testament, like, yeah, go kill your kid because I said so. I'm fucking with you, man.
Oh, that's even better. They are activated to complete the biblical punishments of Egypt upon the modern world. We're going to say primarily the U.S. and Britain. Did I just misspell Britain? No, maybe I didn't. I don't know. We're just going to change it to England in case because I think that's a really wildly cool idea. Yeah, this is going to pelt people with toads and shit. Yes. That's cool. I mean, just think how clownish that is. You just have a bunch of clowns show up on the side of the road and they start throwing toads. It makes no sense, and that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
And then they start showing up and trying to kill the firstborn, type of thing. It could, I mean, it escalates through those biblical punishments in Egypt.
It does get. I mean, the order's a little funky if I remember right, not being a religious scholar or anything, but yeah, the whole like
plagues of locusts. I mean, that
start off really just kind of absurd, and that would be like where it's like, okay, we don't know, like this is weird, but I guess they're just clowns. Maybe they're just doing weird shit, and then it's like, oh no, now they're murdering people. Oh fuck.
Yeah. No, I really think it's a very creepy, very, very creepy kind of I don't know why that thing popped up, but I can't get it to go away. I don't want to see more. I want it to go away. Fucking Microsoft. All right. So the second thing I found was the Australian thundercloud. For September to March every year, a thundercloud named Hector forms nearly every afternoon on the Tiwi Islands in Australia. Hector, also known as Hector the Convector, is known as one of the most consistent thunderstorms. It was named by a pilot during World War II and remains the center of many meteorological studies. So that is wild to me.
That is. Let me find out more about the Tiwi Islands here.
Close, Shaggy. I mean, Yellow Jacket adjacent, I guess. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Tiwi Islands. I just was.
Oh yeah, no. The idea of it is curious. And maybe some of it was just like because I saw Nope recently, but it's like, what if it's just like an alien like watering his plants or some shit?
Oh God, a clown horror comic, nice. What if it is where Thor goes on vacation? That is an interesting concept I can get behind. It's like maybe this polytheistic.
They do have a lot of like. I have to,
Aboriginal God wakes up every time from September to March and basically parties down.
I'd have to look into stuff to make sure it's not just being horribly offensive or some shit. You have a bunch of different like bird mythological birds that some of them warn people about rains and cyclones and shit, or basically just like messengers of like, oh yeah, somebody died in a particular clan, so
that one, I think this is what we can come back to, but I like. I'm gonna put some notes. Could be an alien too. I mean, I haven't seen Nope, but it definitely kind of fits the.
Yeah, all kinds of options there with that. That's an interesting.
Well, if the god especially was coming to propagate with like a particular group of people, so it's continuing its lineage, even though it's supposedly not supposed to exist anymore. Could be like a rift to we'll call it since I'm D&D brained, a Feyland. It's got that. Is it called the Feyland? I can't remember. The Shadowfell and the Feywild.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay, so I thought that was interesting, just for the mere fact that it happens consistently, which is wild.
Yeah, the consistency of it is very. Yeah, or maybe it's like some Brigadoon shit. Who knows? Like extra island comes there. I'm surprised my brother-in-law didn't go there when he was down in Australia.
I'm gonna quote you on that one, Matt. Could be some Brigadoon shit. All right, so these next two I feel like work really well hand in hand. Mm-hmm. And they are two items that exist. Like, so this Fiasto disc, it's made of clay. It was during the Bronze Age. No one can decipher it. Now, there's also a manuscript. They had pictures of both of these on these articles. I found them that no one can also decipher. The manuscript is 272 pages long.
Jeez.
So both of them are rumored to be around fertility or women's health. So what if it becomes something where it does revolve around those two things? Like, what if they both are related to like, oh man, I'm gonna my brain just blanked out all of a sudden.
Well, there's the Minnesota, the Kensington Runestone.
I'm not familiar with that.
Some guy found this supposedly ancient Scandinavian runestone. I think it does. I can't remember if they it was translatable, but it doesn't make any sense because the story.
What was it called?
The Kensington Runestone. So everybody's pretty sure it's a hoax because like the language, like it's like, okay, somebody knew some ancient Scandinavian, but not enough, so they like used more recent stuff, and then also it describes like the journey of some ships that would have been impossible essentially due to the distance that it says they covered. So it's basically like, oh yeah, we the whole point behind it was there were essentially Vikings in central Minnesota. What would have been, let's see here.
Isn't it prior to Columbus?
Yeah, it would have been does it say where it would have put them here, but
so here's my thought.
It would have been 130 years before Columbus reached the West Indies. And then I think they figured out, or at least had some theories as to who did this. I gotta find the Toynbee tiles.
The Toynbee tiles?
Toynbee tiles, yeah, or Toynbee plaques, and basically, they found them all over the world, and there's a bunch of like weird stuff in these tiles talking that kind of reference the movie 2001 and about how we can resurrect the dead on Jupiter.
Also, yes, there was like the Georgia Guildstones, and they were just in our Guidestones. Yeah, we're just in the news as well.
Yeah, somebody blew them the fuck up.
So here's my thing with all of these. I kind of want to tie them together. And you can tell me, did I spell the Toynbee plaques correct?
Toy Nbee. And I think the speculation is that it was by this guy who was like at least the further ones out was this guy who was like a train guy, but they would find them like in the middle of an intersection. So it's like, how could you get out here and like carve up the street and essentially put this like mosaic in? Like how the fuck could somebody do that? And I think the speculation is that he like cut a hole in the bottom of his car and it would just like park and put these together. Anyway, the whole thing is bonkers. And they were found in other countries and shit like that. So people, it's like, were they copies? Were they people who heard about the Toynbee tiles and decided to do new ones? But yeah, they're interesting.
So it's to me, this is based more on the fact of the idea of fertility. Is they're all used to summon, like a cipher. All of them hold actual parts to use to summon Shub-Niggurath, who is the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. That is one of the Lovecraftian mythos monsters, or great old ones. That's just kind of, again, my
right. Oh yeah, no, I think
first pass at it. I do love this one because it's actually got like a bunch of stuff to send people to look at.
Yeah,
there's like a little bit of like a national treasury type thing.
Right. Yeah, if depending on how what the origins of it is, are all these people, because of just who they are, capable of like receiving different chunks of this or understanding different chunks of it, and then but no one person can hold it all.
Yeah.
So they all just have to put it out into the one piece of the puzzle that they can handle out into the world.
Also, maybe this is one of the things that the clown register is trying to stop.
Well, I think there's also shades of
the bull of the wood, baby. Let me tell you something, Daddy. When it comes down to time, let the roads be getting down.
I can't remember what the fuck they were called now in Morrison's Doom Patrol run with the where they wrote the book that was going to like destroy the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's even in his invisible runs, there's the 26 forbidden letters of the alphabet.
Yep. Triple U.
Yep. It's I mean, those are some cool things to also just lift from things. I haven't read Invisibles in a long time. I need to go back and reread it.
I think the
hey, I'm happy to do Dusty whenever you want. I love doing Dusty Roads.
The guy who's playing Dream, I think, said he wanted to do Invisibles.
Oh yes.
I mean, I think it could be good, but with the way I don't know. DC doesn't know what the hell they're doing now.
Did they ever?
Well, they at least seemed okay letting some good things happen with or without them. We got however many seasons of Doom Patrol we're gonna get. That was something.
Yeah, I mean, and I've only watched the first 2 seasons, and I loved them. They were. I still haven't seen the other 2 seasons. Or is it other 2 or?
I think it's just 3 so far.
It's been great. It's really, really good. Mitch, when you write the Scissorman, all I can think is the acclaimed Scissor Me Daddy.
Yeah, I thought season 2 kind of took a bit of a dip, but that just so much focus on Dorothy.
I didn't mind that. I really didn't.
I mean, season 3 was amazing.
Yeah, I need to sit down and watch that. All right, so the next thing I have is the Dancing Plague in 1518.
Oh.
It's where these people literally dance themselves to death.
Yes.
And they think it was possibly done. They've ingested something toxic, but it's Scissor Me Daddy ass, right? I did like Billy Gunn's little promo on his 2 kids at the end of their match this week, where he said, "You guys are making me miss the Acclaimed." And I was just like, "Oh yes." There's another couple dudes who have gotten over on their own merit, and I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, I'm interested in this being like a thing. This could be very interesting. So yeah, it was a mass illness. Again, I can't help but go to Lovecraft and think of the what is it, the fungi of Shoggoth?
Yeah, I mean they had the frog plague, and the BPRD stuff isn't Lovecraftian, but yes, I see hot blood and I just think of fucking Adam X the Extreme.
Yeah, all I can think of is Foreigner. Yeah, it's the fungi from Yoggoth. It's a bunch of sonnets written by our boy Howard. By our boy, I mean a guy I take inspiration from his from parts of his writing, not all the horribleness. Not the xenophobia.
No, you can. That's you can have some good ideas and still be a real piece of shit.
Yeah, it's that whole separating the art from the artist is, I think, a debate that goes on all the time.
Oh, constantly. I was talking with people not long ago about like, all right, how much can you separate Hulk Hogan the person from Terry Bollea, or Hulk Hogan the character from Terry Bollea the person?
I think both are pretty horrible, so I don't have a problem with that.
That's true, but
I mean, he's a piece of shit both ways. So I don't feel anything.
Now, I don't know if there'll be any overlap in games here. And I can't remember if they touched on this at all in the. I know they mentioned it briefly, and guys, I'm not up on the BPRD / Hellboy stuff. But just as more of a general thing, because it was so prevalent in the movies of the 60s and 70s, the idea of there being, some sort of luchador.
Like they have touched upon it. I think Hellboy in Mexico has a lot of that.
Yeah, but I just the idea, like, oh yeah, there's actually just this guy who's
Shaggy
from this lineage of luchadors who fights supernatural evil in Mexico.
I think you don't have to go much further than just going and looking at some of those amazing book covers.
Oh yeah,
like Santos and Blue Demon doing stuff down there, and the mere fact that I think of like Mexico having their own BPRD, but it is there like a religious subcult, a mix of Catholicism and lucha libre. So they don't like mix with the BPRD. They don't mix with, I can't remember what the Russian agency and the British agency is called. Okay. All I know is the Russian agency is led by a little girl who turns out to be like thousands of years old and completely terrifying.
Well, and that also lets you bring in the other trope that I think we've both encountered of the freaking like combat priest in a few things where it's like, oh yeah, I'm a priest, also let me go to my secret gun locker and just get fucking strapped to go fight the evil.
Which is such a trope in so many things.
Which reminds me, I have to give you my password again. So not only so you can watch Doom Patrol Season 3, but you need to watch 30 fucking coins.
Yes, yeah, I agree. It's such a trope. Do you think that trope is leaned on so heavily because it's such a huge part of Dungeons and Dragons? Like just the cleric, the basically the priest in D&D is, somewhat of a fighter.
I think some of it is just the juxtaposition of it. Like, okay, here's this man of peace and of God and whatever, but he's gonna throw down.
I come in peace, you go in pieces.
But also there's probably some stuff like with the Crusades.
Yeah.
In our collective unconscious around that, or here's these holy warriors.
I'm not overly familiar with a lot of anime, but Hellsing is something on my list to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely you see it in anime to varying degrees as well. There's the gun nuns in Black Lagoon, but that's basically they're just pretending to be nuns, I'm pretty sure, so that they can sell arms.
I do think that's a good point, Mitch, and I think you and Matt are on the same kind of thought wave there. Is it does feel like it has more to do with the Crusades and kind of that bizarre. That is a weird thing when you start to try to wrap your head around it.
Yeah, to hold those two very contradictory things in your head, like we're going to bring you God or death.
Yeah, there was a I can't remember if Monty Python did a short miniseries for PBS on like walking the Crusades, and there's a whole section, one of the episodes, about like how someone who was an actual believer had to be almost disassociating themselves, because it was literally like preach the word of God and show love, but at the same time, if you don't accept my love, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill your family, I'm going to sow your ground in salt, I'm going to literally wipe your lineage off the face of the earth. And how do you balance that? It's I'm supposed to love my neighbor, but if you slight me, I'm going to kill you.
It's the abusive relationship that is a lot of, definitely some organized religion taken to about as far as you possibly can. If you don't love me, I'm going to make you regret it.
Yeah. It's such an interesting mindset, because some of these folks did amazingly good work. Yeah. But at the same time, were capable of such barbarism, indiscriminate barbarism, and how the Christian Crusades literally fomented into the um, Islamic fundamentalism we have now.
Yeah,
because that part of the world was not like that.
We're still, we'll be feeling those effects for forever.
Yeah. A friend of our family who grew up in Libya, who's a doctor, he would talk about, and he was a agnostic, but he grew up in a Muslim family. He grew up in that area. He said that is still one of the biggest talking points in every coffee shop you walk into in all of the Middle East is the Crusades.
Wow.
He's like, it's never going to be something that people forget.
Nor should it be,
Yeah, I think Mitch, you're right on as well. Hello, whoever our fourth person in chat is today. I didn't mean for us to get like super deep on anything, but I do find that fascinating, and that's one reason. Like when you were talking about running G.I. Joe, I was like, maybe I would want to play something like that. I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to play. And I know I haven't read all the most current BPRD stuff because I know there's some new characters I'm not familiar with. I know there's like somebody who has a huge sword, and I'm not sure who that character is.
I mean, I'm kind of annoyed with myself for not keeping up with it, but I should get, go back through it, some trades.
I just pick it up by trades. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that kind of stuff makes me think like, oh, there would be some interesting things to drop in there. I know that when we played in college, we played a little bit of the Steve Jackson Hellboy game. The group that I played with had someone who was the mythological offspring of a manticore. So they were kind of like the Griffin in Marvel Comics. We had a vampire in our group, and we had a person who could periodically be possessed by a knight from the Crusades, and they all had to work together to do stuff, and it was wild. The guy from the Crusades ended up killing the vampire in the group that were ostensibly allies. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of cool kind of pathways you can take in this. So anyway, Dancing Plague, fungi of Yugoth is kind of my first thought when it comes to that. I don't know if anyone else has any other kind of ideas.
There's the I mean the some of the explanations that they kind of had was that Saint Vitus can make you do that. That was the way he could punish sinners. Was make you dance yourself.
Death.
Yeah.
Which is kind of very also similar to the Bacchanal for Bacchus. Could it be an ancient, one of the ancient Greek or Romans, just, Bacchus basically, or Dionysus deciding like, oh yeah, you don't believe in me anymore?
Yeah.
Suffer. What did you say? It was Vitus?
Saint Vitus, yeah. Yeah, if you've heard of Saint Vitus's dance, which I think has been, I can't remember what if people have used it. If it's a medical condition now.
Well, there's so many wild things when it comes to that. There is beyond things that people know about, like
Saint Vitus dance is now known as Sydenham's chorea, which is basically just like an involuntary movement of the legs, I think.
It's like an akathisia reaction.
Yeah, let's see here.
But there's things like where there are cases, I can't remember the name of it now because I don't have books in front of me or my DSM-5 copy floating around, where there's like madness by proxy.
Yep.
Where people, and there's been incidences where someone who has a psychotic break but is close to another person basically causes a psychotic break in them as well, and it can spread like a virus. That to me is also fascinating. Like,
okay, so yeah, it sounds like it's caused by like a rheumatic fever can like cause this, but
so there is a member of the Yellow Lantern Corps
oh yeah,
called Despotulus. Is that how you say that?
I can't remember his name now.
I have the name, I just can't
Oh,
probably say it correctly. Despotulus, I think, who is literally just a virus.
yeah.
What if that is like what it is? It's just a sentient virus. It's like an offshoot of rheumatoid, or what did you say it was?
It was a rheumatoid fever. What if like okay, so what if it's like an interpretive dance and like it's this virus trying to communicate through the only means it has? Like I'm gonna make these people dance, and if you can figure out what the fuck their dance movements mean, then you can you know
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
because yeah, if you've got if it's less of a virus and more of like a collective consciousness just spread out among people, or even if it's just like us where it's like, all right, well, we don't know if there's anything out there, we're just going to shoot fucking TV shows and whatever into space and see if anybody talks back to us. It could be some of that, if you're just if you're a society of viruses that lives in people, and you're like, well, we think there might be somebody out there. Let's let's try and communicate in a very vague way and hope they get back.
I dig that. That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those ones where we've just got a wild bunch of interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang. Okay, moving on. Because this is what we do on this particular stream is we,
yes.
especially Hellboy, we just bust out wild shit. The WOW signal. 77 Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope used to support the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Received a schedule that is now a signal now known as the WOW signal. It's a 72-second long signal. Unfortunately, it's never been repeated again. To this day, no one can explain the signal, even though many try. What if this could be connected to this thing you were talking about? That it's an alien collective consciousness?
Or you could also feed that in with the other one with all the unreadable, ununderstandable, runes and signals and shit.
So I like keeping this like in that Lovecraftian realm, yeah. But I'm starting to like this more with this dancing plague as like a communication. That it's spread through the WOW signal. Maybe it's spread through the WOW signal hijacking like AM radio.
So I'm gonna go off on a weird tangent here, as we do. Did you know that the popularity of country music in the United States basically exists due to a complete fucking like snake oil salesman?
Really?
Yeah. So there was this guy, and because he knew, or because he knew that was like the way to get people interested. Had a bunch of like snake oil cure-alls for your dick not working right. So one of the things that he would do in order to cure your infertility or lack of sexual drive or whatever, he would put actual goat testicles into you, which, needless to say, did not work, and went real bad.
Did you notice that as soon as you started talking about that country music, 2 people dropped off?
I did not know that.
That's amazing.
So yeah, he would do this, and he had like a radio show that he would do, and he'd be like, hey everybody, I'm Dr. Quackamaroo. Let me put goat balls in you. And eventually, the FDA or whatever it was at the time, because this was back in the 30s, I think, maybe even the 20s, they shut his ass down. They're like, you cannot practice medicine in the United States, because you're killing people by putting goat balls in them. And he's like, fine, fuck you. I'm going to go to Mexico, where they're not going to stop me from doing this shit. So he went down to Mexico.
To quote Dr. Adventure, I could lose my license to practice making medicine.
So he goes down to Mexico, starts up a radio station down there, an AM transmitter. And it was so powerful that it basically, because again, the FCC couldn't stop him. So his signal was so powerful that it could basically be heard as far north as, I want to say, like Nebraska. So the whole like southern half of the U.S. could get this guy's station, to the point where people were saying they could pick it up on like their medicine cabinets and bed frames and shit. And so he would part of it was, I'm going to keep doing my radio show where I try and sell my bullshit cures, but I got to fill the rest of the time cheap country music.
Do you know what that dude's name is?
I'm going to try and find out.
Okay.
Because that whole thing, I'm like, what the fuck?
Because what if he is the ghost in the machine that restarts this?
Because
that gives me an excuse to use a southern accent. I'm the bringer of the truth and the way. Do you have your goat testicle handy?
John R. Brinkley became known as the goat gland doctor. Yeah, and he began the era of Mexican border blaster radio, which was a long, running thing where it's like, yeah, well, here's these stations just across the border of that. He tried to run for governor, nearly won.
Wow. That is, this, we've got 2 like entire things basically like sort of mapped out, which is pretty cool. The next thing I have is the Joyada vanishing. Merchant vessel disappeared, South Pacific, 55. It didn't sink. It could, they don't think it could sink. The vessel was found, but there was not anyone on it. 25 people gone. And no bodies.
Huh.
He could just sound like Dusty Rhodes, baby. This is Dr. John Brinkley bringing you that good news. Can you hear me, baby? Put your hand up to your radio receiver, daddy, and tell me you can feel me touching you as I'm touching me. I got a little off of Dusty there and got a little just straight up Southern. I lost the lisp for a second, baby. This is another one of those, like, we talked about a couple different ones that is like these disappearances that I think is maybe not something that would be the backbone of a miniseries per se, but is maybe one of those things you just drop in as a clue.
Holy shit! Sorry, I went back. But I'm looking at this Brinkley guy.
Let me take you to the mountaintop, baby.
He had, it was a 1,000,000 watt radio station. it was the most powerful radio station on the planet. And it could be heard as far away as Canada on a clear night. And supposedly caused broadcast to bleed in telephone conversations and could turn on car headlights.
That is wild.
And ranchers claiming they received it in their dental appliances.
Oh,
so
God, that's so cool.
You just have this dude talking about fucking goat balls resonating through your dentures or fillings. Like,
that is incredible.
Oh yeah, and it's all the standard shit: mercurochrome injections, crazy water crystals, autographed pictures of Jesus Christ.
This guy is becoming more and more kind of what I'm all about in this.
Yeah. Oh no, he's a super interesting dude. And then the Congress passed a law called the Brinkley Act, named after him, because he would go back into the States and then call into his own radio station and broadcast from Mexico. Even though
he's so buck wild.
Yeah.
He's the 1,000,000-watt messiah. Wow.
Yeah. Prostate rejuvenations.
Prostate rejuvenation.
But yeah, so then eventually he
the holy grail of my autograph.
He went through a lot of lawsuits for wrongful death and other medical malpractice things, and died penniless despite making millions of dollars.
Also shocking, he was pro-Nazi, which makes him even better as a Hellboy bad guy.
Yeah, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, so he had 3 heart attacks, and one of his legs had to be amputated due to poor circulation.
Yeah, what if that amputation just started and then they just start taking more and more? So while he's a ghost in the machine, like his body parts are all like in Immortal Hulk when they cut the Hulk up and they have him in jars.
Oh yeah,
separate jars. That's him. Oh, or the goat eggs were actual demon eggs to make a monster race.
I mean, goats are of the devil.
Or if the goats were actually carrying the fungi from Yagath.
Yes.
Or that they created frog people. That's a recurrent thing in Hellboy.
It is. The frogs definitely are one of the main recurring villains after Nazis. Yeah, he's definitely got like the publicity stunt. There's definitely some kind of like Trumpy bits here, but it seems like he actually was willing to put the fucking work in. But yeah, the idea of him, him freaking also just as a side effect of wanting to sell all his bullshit, cemented country music as a genre.
What a son of a bitch. Bermuda Island. It's one of those phantom islands. It's seen on maps off the north coast of the Yucatan, all the way to the 20th century. They've searched for it and can't find it.
Okay.
And they can't explain whether it existed or not.
Interesting.
So remind me, Matt, isn't Brigadoon the thing that appears like every 25 years or something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
So this could be a Brigadoon type. Man, we got a lot of Brigadoon going on today.
Well, let's see here. There's a conspiracy theory that the CIA blew it up.
Also,
Okay, so yeah, the idea is that somebody blew it up because, it's a reverse Cobra Island. Because in the GI Joe comics, Cobra put a bunch of fucking explosives at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico to cause a volcanic disturbance to create an island that was outside anybody's, existing international limits, so that they could be like, "Yep, here's our own island. Give us." Oh, and by the way, we've got a bunch of lawyers waiting outside the UN to give us, to lobby them to give us, sovereign nation status on this island that we created 10 minutes ago. And they tricked the U.S. Army into doing it, or the military into doing it, because they're like, "Oh, there's this Cobra bunker at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. We got to do something about it. We're going to have to bomb it into oblivion." Well, but we can't use nukes because it'll destroy all the fish. So conventional explosives. So they did that. It caused an earthquake. This island rose up. They got an island. This is the reverse, where if this island existed, because it was claimed by Mexico, their international waters would extend further. So if the island doesn't exist, then they don't have the rights to that space, and also don't have the rights to any of the resources that are there.
so here's a thought. What if we tie this back to the dancing plague? This is where John Brinkley, they thought John Brinkley was stored.
Oh, so they just like,
so much like in the Shadow over Innsmouth, where at the end the U.S. military comes in and finds that the deep ones are in Devil's Reef, so they use submarines to blow it up. Someone in a earlier version of the BPRD finds Bermuda Island, because you're saying that they think it was blown up when?
Let's see here. So that would actually would have been very recently, within the last 15 years. The other thing you could do would just be to make that like the base of the Mexican BPRD equivalent, and just say, "Oh, they took it off the maps."
Oh, God damn it, that's a good too.
So that nobody could find it.
Oh, damn you, Matt. All right, we're doing that. We got to find a cool religious name for that also mixes Lucha Libre. Were we talking about that on stream, or was that off stream? I don't even remember.
No, we were talking about that on stream, and we've talked about it in the past. Yes. Well, there's the island of the fucking dead dolls in Mexico City. You're near Mexico City.
All right.
And that's
a good one.
The dead doll island is fucking creepy as hell.
Yeah, I've seen that island before.
But I'm going to see here. Bermeja English. Okay, so Bermeja translates to vermilion, roughly. Let's see here. It's the feminine of Bermejo. Okay. Yeah, again, internet dictionaries and shit. Islands, there's all kinds of auto complete here. I mean, there's lots of islands that appear and disappear. And then just the ones that are going to disappear because we fucked our planet up. But Isle of Demons near Newfoundland. Oh.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Is I think we'll be able to missing islands is going to be a big thing. I think we'll be able to draw from.
Oh yeah. I'm curious about this Island of Demons. Yeah, just fairly standard. And here, there's a bunch of nasty shit on this island. Don't go there.
Sorry, I'm kind of looking up the Sacred Heart, the flaming Sacred Heart symbolism.
Ah.
It is supposed to symbolize Jesus' compassion for humanity. That I'm digging that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I mean, I do like the there's a little bit of the planetary where it's like, all right, here's Monster Island is real, and we're just gonna take it off all because that's where fucking kaiju live.
Yes. I do love that.
Well, and when you get into all the stuff with the urban explorers and shit, that whole crazy ship graveyard off the coast of California, like where the Navy stores all its old shit, and some dude was just dicking around in there, like snuck in because it's illegal to be there, and found like a prototype stealth ship inside one of the other ships there, and that stuff's super interesting.
How does this work for a name? Corazon La Mente.
I like it.
It means flaming heart.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yes.
I think that's like all of the agents have a tattoo of a flaming heart somewhere.
Yeah, I dig that.
All field agents have a tattoo of a flaming heart on their person. Like that also works.
Yeah, kind of a depending on your interpretation, it's my preferred interpretation of the the 00 program where it's like, okay, there's 10 of these guys or whatever, and when one dies, there's just a new 007 or 003 or whatever. And it's like, all right, you're son of so and so or whatever. The masks just keep handed down. El Hijo. That was the word I was trying to think of.
El Hijo.
Yes.
I just saw the shit out of that. So I also want it to be like kind of like a Black Panther-esque. So when you wear the mask, you can talk to the previous wearers. All this came from Bermuda Island.
Well,
yeah, not so evil Uno. Yeah, very well put.
I like the idea of too, like, is there like, if these like are these spirits that they're speaking to, are those spirits still kind of living in a way? Are they seeing the world? Could one of them be like, no, wait, this is bullshit, and I'm gonna work with the next guy to wear my mask, and we're gonna go rogue and try and stop this shit?
I think so. In my mind, it's like if you take up the mask, you're basically giving up your trip to the gates.
Yeah, you just live in the mask.
Yeah, you're sacrificing yourself for God.
Okay, so then I could absolutely see one of the previous wearers of that mask being like, wait a second, this is some bullshit. I'm going to do some nasty shit to get back out of this mask. Because if I don't get my eternal reward, I might as well just live forever as a demon or whatever the fuck on earth.
And imagine if that happened, like there is like a vault of masks like that where this did not work because of things like that. So someone steals a mask like that from the vault.
Yeah, that could work. Or even it's just this is the first time that has happened because they, they're like, these are all holy men. You just see somebody who takes advantage of, like, all right, well, freaking Belial, the whatever that we're gonna stop already has all this shit set up for me. I'm just gonna step in here and take over his plan now that we've stopped it.
And the first image that pops in my head is like a bunch of monks and priests in like an old west town, and they're about to get raided, like they're holding a holy artifact, and these just like old west bandits are going to steal it. So one of them, they bless this burlap sack mask and he puts it on. That's like the first mask,
The first mask, yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
the masked rider,
yeah,
the raider, I guess, from the Defenders miniseries there.
Shaggy, believe it or not, I have seen a few Lucha de Apuesto matches in my time. All of them strangely took place in Chicago. And seen two people lose their masks back in the day for a promotion we're not going to name, where losing a mask is a huge deal. And they're really cool. They're mind-blowingly cool. One of them, the person who lost their mask, never came back. They give up their mask, and that was the last time we saw him in that promotion. The second one, the person who lost their mask changed their name, and now the last time I think they wrestled a match on AEW Dark, I want to say, and they were a very good professional wrestler. So I think the name that they used. And they went on and they were amazing. And usually they were really good about staying after the show and shaking hands and talking. It was the first time we ever went to a show where they were at and they did not come out afterwards, which made it even more like that whole losing the mask thing was that one was the craziest one, because it was like the person who won the match and won the mask refused to take it. And he was like, "You're too fucking soft to take the mask." And he's like, "Well, I'll give it to you then."
Well, maybe
they put a towel on his head and rushed him out. It was wild.
Maybe there's that could be another potential angle, is the Corazon Elemente go to the BPRD and they're like, our dudes are disappearing or getting killed. And you've got somebody doing like a parallax thing. Like, I'm going to grab all their fucking masks and get all their power. Like, we don't know what's going on. Somebody knows our shit. We need somebody from outside. Because this dude is going after, and you reveal it all slowly. Like, yep, somebody just stealing their masks, to get their powers, but we don't know that yet.
I do. That's absolutely brilliant, Matt. What if they were taking those masks apart and sewing them back together so you get this creepy like amalgamation of masks?
Patchwork mask, or even just make like a whole fucking like suit out of them.
Oh God, even creepier.
Yeah, just like and I'm not talking like a wrestling bodysuit, like a suit. Because luchadors in suits are the best, in dress suits are the best thing.
What if by doing this they lose their face? Their face is just black. There's nothing there.
Yeah, void, or like a question style thing, or
There's definitely some Johnny Sorrow vibes going on here.
yeah. Let me see if I can find because one of the it didn't it I think his vision was greater than his means, but Mano del Destino, the Image comic, and it's a luchador sort of thing. And it seemed like he had some really big ideas that he wasn't able to. Either the sales weren't good enough to um, do the job, or he just didn't have the focus. But really good. Anyway, from that, there's this, which I just put in the chat. I love this luchador nudie suit.
Oh God, that's amazing.
Yeah, and he's like the evil promoter who I think turns out to be Mano del Destino's like adoptive father, but also maybe the devil. I don't know. I got to reread it.
Yeah. No, that you guys are killing it in the chat too, pointing out some interesting things.
Yeah, here we go. And then I will also drop this in the chat for you because it ties in.
So I added a little bit down here to be interested. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to drop this in the big chat so others can also partake of Matt's cool find. So then I just put that person who's doing this is ripping apart the mask, making a suit of them. Their face becomes an unknowable void. By doing this, they force all the previous luchas inside to become slavish ghosts to its whim.
Nice. Yes.
Then we would just have to come up with a name for that.
I mean, you could, or it could be, you could do like a Master Pandemonium sort of thing where you can like change his freaking limbs into like a
Holy crap. Yeah, this is something else, Matt, that we kind of between us and the
wrestling with us.
Damn. That's some wild. This thing shoots to the top. Yes, did that right. So we're gonna go down here and do it again. Holy man. You gotta love when I think we're constantly coming up. I mean, chat, you guys are amazing too, with these kind of interesting ideas that have legs, but when one of them just erupts into this.
I mean, that's
its own thing. I always get very like, oh my gosh, this is wild. All right. Well, I had other stuff, but we can always come back to it because we're a little over an hour already, and I don't want to keep anybody. I'm trying to say better about time, and but damn, Matt, where can people find you and your disgustingly amazing imagination?
I'm a DJ. I remix other people's shit. But anyway, every Tuesday on the Dave Wonder channel, doing Tiny Ming Tuesdays. Most Sundays, not next Sunday because I've got a toy show that I'm doing, trying to unload some shit. But most Sundays, you can find me here, hanging out with your King Ginger. And then Hypno Hustlers _ Customs on the Instagram, at Hypno Hustlin on Twitter. And yeah, I'm around. Probably be doing some. We got another Star Wars session this week. Hopefully, the universe definitely doesn't seem to want us to finish it, but fuck you, universe. We're gonna do it.
This is happening whether you want it to or not.
God, yeah. Yeah, we'll just spit in the face of the universe. It's fine. It won't blow back on us.
That never ends poorly.
So yeah, doing that, and then yeah, I'm around. I'll probably be getting in on KSCAR at some point here. I'm going to try and run some games. This BPRD thing sounds great, even though I know the plot of the first session.
This is true.
So yeah, it's gonna be great. Check me out. How about you?
I've got DNO Monday, which I've done zero prep for, so that's tomorrow. Guess what I'm doing when this is over? Then this Wednesday is a Star War. I don't remember what I have to listen back to the previous episode because I've already forgotten what we were doing. And
I think we were still trapped in. No, did we?
You guys got. I think you were headed. I know that everybody was split up. One group met a. I remember one group met a Jedi and split off, and the other group was still trying to fix their ship.
Yes.
So maybe this adventure, maybe this next session, you'll actually get to where the adventure is supposed to happen,
and get us all back together as
maybe. I don't know anymore.
No, we'll see.
Friday Bad at Games. Last time we reopened the Twitch Projo. Maybe we'll go back to that. I don't know yet. I have no idea. Maybe we'll try Anvil Saga out. Kind of a fun little game I've been fiddling around with. I have no idea what we'll play. We'll play something. It'll be nice and relaxing. Maybe we'll go back to Carrion and just eat Scientist because I do love that game, and so does the chat, it seems like. Next Sunday, we are talking Weird West.
Ooh.
Matt reminded me I have an Apocalypse World Weird West game, and we could actually take that, Matt, and tie it to what we just talked about.
You sure as shit could.
Which could be wild. So I'm kind of now those creative juices for that are flowing. Chaos Scar starts on the 22nd. First.
I'm bummed I won't be here for your Weird West thing next Sunday. But
oh dang. Well, I can move it if you want to.
Let's switch up the schedule and then work on something else. I'm down for whatever. You know me. I show up, we talk.
Short of goat balls. That's beautiful. Yeah, maybe I'll switch that up because I know it's something that you'd be super interested in. I'll jump into something you're less wrote in. Cascar starts on the 22nd, so it's what? A week after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got my first group all set up. I found out today one of them is playing a Goliath Barbarian. I put the job board out today. Got a real interesting crew of folks. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that game. Should be just kind of a basic D&D game with some interesting parts going on in it. We'll see what happens. Other than that, yeah, that's the business end of things. We appreciate each and every one of you jumping on and joining us and just really being amazing people, but also continuing to throw out fantastic ideas. And as always, really helping us to formulate and build interesting things for the future. So thank you. I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend and an even better week. We'll hopefully see some of you on Monday. Hopefully some of you on Tuesday when Matt is on Tiny Ming. Until then, be good, you sexy binks.
And don't
Bye.
fuck with wasps.
Yeah, fuck you, Yellow Jackets.